happy May. It is actually Sunday, May 2nd, when I'm filming this, because, Sunday has become my normal filming day. And in case you are new here, because I have gotten a lot of new subscribers, probably because of my first FlossTube video. So let me introduce myself real quickly to you. My name is Rainy. My channel is Rainy Day Reads, and that is because I am primarily a booktuber, but in 2020 I got really into crafts because we couldn't go anywhere. So I have been sucked in to the FlossTube and knitting YouTube. I don't think it has its own little name, but I have gotten sucked into that world, and I kind of wanted to put my little stamp on that and show you my crafts. So today, I think probably for the foreseeable future, I am going to put both of my interests together into one video because unlike a lot of, bigger floss tubers, I don't have a lot of stash. So I feel like I can't really fill up an entire video with stitchy stuff. So I'm going to section my video off into books and crafts, and I will put a timestamp down below. So if you're just here for the crafts, you can find the timestamp for my crafty section down below, and if you're just here for the books, same deal. I think I'll put the books first, just because that's what I'm used to, but I can switch it up in the future. If you want the crafts first and the books after, you can let me know. Whatever. I don't care. I think you guys can figure out the timestamp thing, and that should work, right? We'll see. So yeah, let's get to the books. This should be fairly quick, but we all know, if you've been around me for a while, you know I like to chat. So maybe it won't be, but we're gonna try to make this relatively quick. So I didn't really finish anything since the last time we spoke. Maybe Perelandra by C.S. Lewis, which is the second in the space trilogy. But we had our live discussion on, just yesterday, on Victoria's channel from the musical Bookworm. That was really great. They had a lot of good insights, and I feel like Perelandra was a little bit harder for me to wrap my head around so than Out of the Silent Planet. So yeah, it was still good. I really enjoyed it, but it was a lot bloodier than the first one, and just had a lot more like concepts that I had to work through. So the next one we're going to be reading in May, throughout the whole month of May, because it's a bigger book, is That Hideous Strength, and it is the last book in the series. And I have a feeling that one's going to be pretty like brainy as well. So we'll see. But so yeah, I think that was the last book that I finished in April. I should have brought my water up here because I am finding that I am needing little drinks of water. So if there's a little bit of jump cuts in here, I'm sorry, but it's probably me either coughing or going to get my water. But anyway, speaking of C.S. Lewis, I started my reread of Mere Christianity. I am kind of one of the co-hosts, co-facilitators of the Mere Christianity May read-along that Krista from Books and Jams is hosting. And we are reading a section a week because Mere Christianity is broken up into 4 sections. And we are going to meet on Krista's channel on every Sunday throughout the month, which with different people joining her in her live shows. I think that I am scheduled to be on the last 2 of her of her live streams because I had to switch some things with people. So I think at this point I'm on deck to be in the last 2 live streams. But this is a fairly short book. I read it for the first time in college, and just starting to reread it yesterday, I remembered so many things that really ended up informing or really solidifying how I think about Christianity and how I think about my relationship to others who may not believe in what I believe. I mean, I'm only 2 chapters in and we haven't really gotten very far, but I just remember so many things that like blew my mind in college, quite frankly. on just like how I should act as a Christian and why I should believe what I believe. Um, yeah, so it's going to be a good month, I think. And then I have been chugging along at this poor book for so long, I feel like, and I feel really bad, but at the same time, Kate lost her copy for a while, so she's not done with it either, so it makes me feel better. Heaven to Betsy by Maud Hart Lovelace. And this is a reread for me again, but I had been doing a little series of videos with Kate Howe about our rereading experience of the book series, and we kind of got off track in March. And then apparently she mislaid her copy and only found it recently. So we are trying to get this done so that we can put out another reaction video in May. And I believe Christy Lewis is joining us for at least a few of these. So I don't know if she's finished it yet, and she might have been the first one to give us a reaction video. Who even knows? But I am just loving this series. I don't know why it's taking me so long to reread this one. I think I just kind of forgot about it with all the other things I was reading in March and April. And then I saw it again and I was like, oh no, I never finished that book. So it's definitely not a hard read. Heaven to Betsy is when she starts high school. So we're getting to meet the crowd, which is her, friend group in high school, and kind of goes throughout the rest of her life's journey. And yeah, it's very charming. We just had Sunday night lunch with Mr. Ray, and I just love that. And it makes me want to have Sunday night lunch with all of my friends. And then I started my reread of Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell. Almost forgot who wrote that for a minute. I don't, just went out of my head. But Kate Howe is doing a read-along of this novel with Kieran from KD Books. She has somehow convinced him to read Wives and Daughters, even though he says he does not like Victorian literature. So she is convinced that he will love this book. And I want to agree, because I think everybody should love this book. But I know that there are people out there who do not like this book, and I just don't understand. How could you not love Molly Gibson and Roger and Mr. Gibson? I just don't understand it. But I read the first 2 chapters. I'm going to try to read 2 chapters a day. There are 60 chapters. They are pretty long, so I'm not sure if I'll stick to that schedule. The chapters are pretty long, but I'm going to try. We'll see. But we just got through the initial party scene when Molly is 12 years old and she first meets a woman who will have a significant role in the rest of her life. And it's really just charming. I just love it. And then I started my buddy read of Beyond the Gathering Storm by Jeanette Oakes. I am doing this buddy read with Berna from Berna's Bookish Adventures. And surprisingly, I did not read the synopsis of this book. And we have done a huge time jump in this. And we are following Elizabeth and Wynn's adult children. I was like, what? But they were like, there was like one that was a baby when, or like 2 years old when we last saw them, and now he's in the Royal Mounted Police or whatever they're called. So, yeah, that was weird. But the cool thing about this is that both of Elizabeth and Wynn's children are adopted. And I just think that's really cool because in a lot of Christian fiction, you have the miraculous baby that happens after years of infertility, and just suddenly one day you have a child. And sometimes that is just not the reality. And I like that Jeanette Oak is clear that, you know what, some people just can never have children, and it's okay. And, you know, God can put other children in your lives that you can bless. And in some cases, that's adoption. In some cases, it is nieces and nephews. And in some cases, it's friends' children. I know for me, I have a couple of my friends' children that I like to be fun Aunt Rainey who brings gifts every time I go to the house. Even though their parents are like, stop bringing them gifts. I'm like, no, no. Let me have this. So yeah, and I just like that they never did have their own children apparently, and they just were the vessels to bless homeless children, and now we get to see how the two children that they got to call their own are dealing with life uh, after Wynn and Elizabeth have not not left the Royal Mounted Police, but I believe at this point that Wynn is basically retired. So yeah, I am enjoying this, and I've only read one section so far, but this morning Berna already sent me her thoughts on the next section, so I got to get to it. Oh, but I will say that this goes really, really fast. Like, we're only taking 5 days to read it, and I am listening to the audiobook, and yeah, it goes super fast. I mean, it looks long. I think I might have the large print edition from the library, but yeah, they're not difficult books to get through. And lastly is a book that is a carryover from April that I still have not finished, but I'm about halfway through. And Krista's book club meeting for this book tonight is not till 6 o'clock Eastern time. So I should be able to get it done because I am listening to it on audiobook. And that is The Book of Lost Names by Kristen Harmel. And this is a World War II historical fiction, which is Krista's bread and butter. She loves World War II historical fiction. I don't read a lot of World War II historical fiction because it's usually really sad. And I tend to go for like cozier reads that are, you know, might have some sadness in it, but they generally are happy mostly. And this book so far has not been happy at all. But I really am enjoying it. There are a couple of things, a couple of writers' choices that I that irk me a little bit. Um, but overall, the story is really well done so far, and I'm really interested in it. I just, for some reason, I wasn't picking it up last month, and today it's crunch time. I got to finish it. So next week you will probably have my thoughts. So that wasn't too bad of a book section today. That was actually pretty quick. That's all that I've started so far. I'm just kind of going with it. I'm just gonna kind of start the things when I feel the need to start the things this month. So unless I have like, you know, like Mere Christianity, I need to like finish a section a week. But yeah, I'm kind of trying to sort of mood read within the span of my TBR. Which is weird, but you know. And some of the books I'm not going to read till closer to the end of the month because I know we have book clubs at the end of the month. So I've kind of held off on those for a while. And I hopefully will have a lot of reading time and crafting time this coming week, because from this Wednesday through next Wednesday, I will have no work to do. Or no, going to work to do. Because we have my birthday on the 5th, we have Mother's Day on that Sunday, and we have my dad's birthday on the 12th. So I just thought that that was a good time to take a staycation, because we generally have a lot of going out to eat to do in those 6 days. And we usually try to get together with some family and all that. So, and that will probably be happening. So it's going to be kind of busy, but I think I will mostly have time for me to do my own thing at certain points throughout the week. So, but now let's move on to the crafting. Okay, hi. So this is the FlossTube and knitting section of this video. And I have started my Stitch Mania / Stitchsania, which is more what I am going for, because I can't even imagine starting 21 whips. I think the original intent was to start a whip a day or something through the whatever the year is. So last year, 20 whips, and yeah. So anyway, I don't even have that many patterns because I'm new at this. So I decided to go with Lindy Stitch's Stitchsania idea, where I have a main project and I make goals for that throughout the week. And then on the weekends, I get to start a new pattern if I want. If I don't want, or if I want to continue on with the pattern that I started the previous week, then great, we'll do that. However, because this is, the first week of May is a weekend, and I had all day to myself yesterday on the 1st. And I was really excited about starting Stitchsania. So I thought, you know what? If I get my 200 stitches done on my main project, and if I get my temperature tree from Stitchin' Mommy updated, I'm going to allow myself to start a new project. And because I probably won't get any time to stitch anything other than my main project done throughout the week on a general basis. So, I might as well start something new to start off the month, right? So, let me go through what I worked on yesterday. My main project that I have set goals for this month is my Alice and Flamingos by Miss Peggotty Arts on Etsy. And I'll put the picture of what it should look like when it's all done on the screen. And my goal for the month is to get 4 pages of this giant pattern done by the end of the month. So that roughly translates into 200 stitches a day to get 1 page a week done. So, and that's it, continuing on in the weekends and not just focusing on my whips from my new projects that I'm starting on the weekends. So I got my 200 stitches done in my first page that I want to try to finish this month yesterday. And this is my progress now. So let's see. There we go. So we have, probably can't really see the whole thing. There we go. So yeah. This is where I'm at, and I worked on the flamingo's neck yesterday. And that was actually 202 stitches. So I got to that, and then I stopped because my hand was pretty tired at that point. But prior to that, I had worked on this top section of all this white and tan So as you can see, I did not finish the white before I moved on to this other section, because I just thought, I want to do something with a little bit more pizzazz for Stitch Mania, right? So, yeah. So that's where we are with this. And I am really enjoying it. So then, after I got those 200 stitches done on Alice, I decided I needed to update my temperature tree by the Stitchin' Mommy. Let's see. Yeah. So I got all of the stitches done on April's branch, and I did not continue on to try to finish May's branch, so I might try to do that today. But I'm just liking the color changes. You can really see where we've gone since the beginning of the year. And I made that little key down there because I had seen some other people on Instagram do that. That doesn't come with the pattern, but I like that because, years down the line, I probably won't know that, blue was well, you would assume that blue was cold, but you might not assume that those pink colors are actually the coldest colors. So as you can see in February and late January, we were like real cold. And we even had some blue up in April because we had some snow in April. So, but now I think we're coming out of it. So hopefully May will be warmer. So then, after all that, my arm was really tired. So I took a break to do some reading and some YouTube watching. And then in the evening, I thought, you know what? I want to start a new project. And I have never, if you watch my first FlossTube video, you know that I have never stitched on linen before. I'm strictly an Aida girl. I have never stitched on anything else, and I feel no shame in that. I know, I get why people don't like it because it is generally stiff. But I really like the ease of it, and it does soften up as you work with it. I mean, my Aida for the Alice in Wonderland one is 14 count Aida from Michaels, and I've been working on it since October. It is super wrinkly. But it also has really softened up because of that. So, and I think once I kind of wash it and kind of get it pressed out, I think it'll be perfectly fine. And yeah, so I really like Aida, but I wanted to try linen to see what all the fuss was about. So I decided to do the Thankful Samplery. That's the word I'm looking for. The Thankful Samplery by my friend Tanya over at The Sampler Girl. She gifted this to me in 2020 around Thanksgiving, so I didn't have a chance to get it done by Thanksgiving in 2020. So and she also gifted me recently some linen to try. So I think I'm going to change it to 2021. But I wanted to try the linen that she got me. And here are my first few stitches on linen. And it actually wasn't as hard as I was like envisioning and fearing. It was a little bit harder to see. This is 30 count Witchelt in lamb's wool. And I originally thought I would maybe do 1/1 because I did want it to be really small, but I decided to do 2/2 because it still seemed pretty small to me to do 2/2. So decided to do that, and it really isn't that difficult at all. The only thing that I wasn't sure about, I wasn't sure how to decently count, like space it out. So I'm hoping that I left myself enough room for this entire pattern. I mean, it only goes to there, but I'm hoping that I left myself enough room for the whole pattern. So I think what I'm going to do today after I get my 200 stitches done on Alice, I'm going to kind of go down the line, go vertically, to see if I gave myself enough room. That way, if I didn't, I won't feel like I went all the way here and have to pick everything out. So, but yeah, it really wasn't too bad. And I guess I'm going to have to stitch something here so this doesn't happen all the time. But, but I really like how this works up. And yeah, I'm excited about it actually. So that is my last cross stitch related thing, but I have one more thing to show you, and that is my knitting. And I only have one thing on my needles at the moment, and that is the White Horse sweater by Caitlin Hunter. I'll put a picture up here of what the finished product hopefully will look like. And this is where I am. I have officially, I believe, finished the yoke section. I do need to try it on my head to make sure that I went down far enough, because I think that I had like a sticky note on the pattern as I was going down, and I think that I put the sticky note on the wrong place at one point. But it was near the end, so like if I'm off by a few rows, I don't think it's gonna matter that much, but I just want to make sure that it's not going to totally throw off like where it hits, you know what I mean? So I don't know, we'll see. But I think that I am done with the yoke. So now we just have, it's hard to hold this up to where it looks nice. There we go. But I believe that I will, the next thing I have to do, I think I have to do a round of purling, and then I will put some stitches on hold for the sleeves, and then it will be reverse stockinette, I believe, the whole way down the body. So, yeah, that's exciting. Now, one thing I'm not sure about is, see how the ribbing here is a lot shorter, oh, maybe here, than back here. So I'm not sure if like this is the back. I'm not really sure. I mean, this is the beginning of round, and this is the what's the word I'm looking for? The deepest section of the ribbing. So I'm thinking, from all the stuff that I've seen, that the shorter section of ribbing is the front of the sweater, I think. And I think that's what I'm going to go with, because I think I can do whatever I want. But I kind of like the look of that better. So hopefully it'll go around my neck. I don't really like close-fitting things on my neck, but we'll see. I've seen other people do this pattern, and the neck is like really wide on them. So I'm not really sure why or how they did that, because I would actually like it to be like a wide neck, but this is definitely not going to be. But hopefully it'll be all right, because I generally don't like things tight around my neck. So but I still want to make sure I wear this. So I don't know. But yeah, that is all I have for you today, my friends. I hope that you are having a good week and a good start to your May. If you are participating in Stitch Mania or Stitch Sania, let me know. If you are participating in Mere Christianity May, let me know that as well. And if you are part of the hashtag community, Kate Howe made me do it, as far as BookTube is concerned, let me know that as well. We'll form a support group. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye, friends.